Welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a Thanksgiving service flyer as displayed on our screen. So in this particular tutorial we're going to see of how you can go to include the image carousel of the image to show you that you make the audience feel that they are part of this particular service. So by the end of this particular one, I'm going to show you how you can be able to involve or be able to include this. So let's dive in and see how you can be able to go about it in Adobe Photoshop. Now, the first thing that you need to do is to go to Photoshop, and then you go to File, and then you go to New. So this particular one is supposed to, we are supposed to use, it is a digital flyer, and therefore requires us to use a 4x4 inches. So I have already set it here. So you set the width to be 4 and you set the height to be 4, and then you make sure that the measurement is in inches, and make sure the color code is RGB, because it's going to be used in a digital platform, and therefore RGB is the best. So make sure the resolution is the highest, that is 300, and then you just click create. So give it time to load. Here it is, our canvas has already been loaded, and therefore we want to reduce the size so that it fits within the canvas. So I want to click here at the bottom left of the screen, and then I put there 45 so that it can be able to fit within. I can be able to see the four corners of this canvas so that I can be able to know how to control each and every element. Then after that, the first thing you want to bring in, you want to bring the image. So I have a bunch of resources I'm going to use in this tutorial, and therefore I'm going to share in the description section if you're interested to use the same. So we just go to File, and then you go to Place Embed. Then we go to our desktop. Go to our desktop, and then there is this folder for third. Then I want just to start with this particular image for the background. So I click on it, and then I place. I place it there. Then after it has loaded, we want to start to resize it so that it can be able to fill the entire space. I want to load it. So here it is. Therefore what I'm going to do is that I'm going to resize it, make sure that it has filled the entire canvas. So I just want to hold any anchor point in this particular image and then start to resize it so that it can be able to fill the entire space. So by so doing, we move to the next part, that is to bring in another image. I don't want that image to be so boring the way it is, so I'm going to bring in another image. So this is the image I want to bring in. So I want to click on it, and then I place embed. I place. So that is the image. I want that image to cover the entire, also the entire canvas. So one thing I'm so much interested with is that kind of a clock on that particular side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this, and then I'm going to use I'm going to add a layering mask, and then I'm going to use my brush tool so that I can be able to get rid of other section. So I can be able to increase the brush size to around let me say 700. Let's say 700, and then I can be able to brush off other regions I'm not interested with. So what I'm interested with is just that part at the top there. Good. So like that. Then after doing that, I click here. The next thing I want to bring here is the image again. So I want to bring in another image. So I want to bring in the image of people standing, these people here. So I click on it, and then I just place. So I'm working on my background just to make sure that everything doesn't look so common to the end users. So just want to make sure I include as many photos as possible, So this one also I want to make sure that I get rid of the top part. I'm not interested with this part of the ceiling board, so I'm just going to make sure that I reduce it. I make sure I get rid of this part at the top here, just like that, just like that, just like that, making sure that everything is in order, just like that. Good, thank you. Then next thing I want to do, I want to bring in the last image. So I just go to place embed, and then I want to bring in an image. Let me bring in another image. So here it is. I want to bring in this image of praise and worship. They are in that mood of worshiping. So I want to bring in this image. So I want to bring in this image so deep in this particular prayer. So what I need to do, I can be able to flip it horizontally. Just right click and then flip it horizontally. So I want him to face this side. So I want just to make sure that everything has been positioned exactly very well here, like that, like that. So making sure that everything is in order for the background, just making sure that it's at the top here. So the same way I've been able to do with other images, I just click here, I add a layering mask, and then I go to my brush tool, and then I want to brush off this other part. The only thing I'm interested with is that that guy there, the praise and worship team person. So that's like that. I can be able to make sure that everything is in order. Now, but the thing that you need to do is that we are not interested to make sure that we are not interested with these images to make them the main focus. That is the best thing that you need to understand. So what I need to do, I need to reduce the opacity of each and every image here to around 4, because we are not having them as the main focus. Our main focus, we just wanted we didn't want to see the image, the background to be so busy, and that's why we have brought them on board. So we can work with 4 around there, 14. Okay, we can work with 4 just to make sure that it appear a little bit there, but it's not so. So I'm trying to reduce the opacity. I'm reducing the opacity just to make sure that they appear, but they are not the main focus. I can work with 4. I think 4 is okay for me. And then the last image, I can also be able to reduce it to 6 or 4. 4 is there. Good. 4. I think 4 is okay for me. This one is also 4. Maybe I can reduce it to 4. Make sure that it is just 4 pixel, 4%. And then the main image, I can as well be able to reduce it to 4%, or even 5. 5 is okay for me. 5 or 6. Let's work with 6. Good. Don't want it to be shouting so much, but I don't want it to be so much far from being recognized. Okay. So this is it about the background. So I can be able to highlight this, highlight it, the 3 images plus the background. So just press Control key, hold it down, and then you click on each and every layer, and then you just press Control plus G on your keyboard. So you have been able to group all these images together. The next thing I want to do, I want to reduce the brightness. So I'm going to click on the curve, and then I just want to make sure that it is not so much bright the way it is. So I reduce it like that. Yes, just a little bit. Yes, that like that. So that's how you can be able to go about it. The next thing that I want to do is now to bring in the image, the text, and just to bring in the text. So the first text I want to bring in, I want to bring in the logo of the church. So I bring in the logo. So we go to this folder here, and then I can be able to bring in the logo of the church. The logo of the church, here it is. I have it here. Logo of the church, it is here. So I click on it, and then I place embed. I place. So I want to reduce this logo. Reduce it, and then make sure it is positioned at the top here. Make sure that it's positioned at the top here. And then you can write some text on it. and then just click here on the text tool, and then write the text next to it. So click here and then you write the text. So you're going to say High Life Cathedral Busia. So that's the text. I highlight it and make sure that it is black in color. Black in color. So I put it at the top here. Good. Then after that I go to the next image. I want to bring in the next text, present. So present is our next text there, and I want this present to be a little bit bigger. Yeah, there. I want it to be center aligned, so I Control plus A and make sure that it is center aligned there. Good. Then after that, remember I'm using pop-in. I'm just using pop-in here. So because this one is our main focus point, I'm going to make sure that it is bold. Bold. Good, like that. I think bold work for us there. Or we can use even semi-bold if you realize that it is so much boring to have it all of it bolded. So after that I want just to Control plus J to duplicate this, and then I bring it down here, and then I want to write there Thanksgiving. 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 So Thanksgiving also is supposed to be center, at the center of this. So Control plus A, and then I just place on this. I just click here to center it there. Good. Then after doing that, I go back to that word, the Thanksgiving. I click on it, and then I just want to use black. It should be the theme of the event, and therefore it must be very, very bold and dark so that it can be visible by everyone. The next thing I want to do is to bring in service. So I just click on thanks. I just want to click on thanks, and then I Control plus J so I can duplicate that layer, and then I just want to write there service. Perfect. So by so doing, I'm already done with that, and therefore the next thing I want to do is just to bring in to do some kind of skewing. Skewing is basically you want to change a certain area. No, they're not the entire text, but just part of the text should be skewed. Yeah. So what I need to do, I highlight all these three layers. So present, and then you have Thanksgiving, and then service. So remember, this is our focus point, and therefore we want to make it a little bit bigger compared to the rest of the text. So like that, I want it to be like that, and then I go to edit, and then I go to transform, and then I click on skew. So with the skew, is supposed to help me to move. I want this part to be a little bit moving at the top like that. Yeah. So I want it to be somehow like it is tilted at one side. It is tilted at one side, not so far. Around 4.5 is okay. I think 4.5 is okay for me. So that one is skewed. Then after that, I just want to make sure that it is big enough to be visible, like that. Perfect. Like that. Yeah. Make sure that it is at the center. Make sure that everything is okay. Now the next thing I want to do is to bring in to change the text color of this. So what I want to do is that I double click on this, and then I go to color the top here, and then I just want to pick a color from my logo like that. and to pick a color for my logo. So orange works well there, and normally when you talk about orange means something exciting, yeah, so it's something enjoyable. So it is a Thanksgiving service, and therefore there is need for us to enjoy. Now the next thing I want to do is to bring in the trumpet. So there's a trumpet that was here, so I think I need to bring in first. I want to bring in the trumpet, so I go to my folder that contain all my resources, and then this is the trumpet I'm looking for. So I click on it and then I place. So this trumpet, I want it to be on this side, and therefore I'm going to flip it. I want to flip it horizontally. Flip it horizontally, and then I want to bring it here. I want it to be here, just next to our text. Yeah, what we are interested with is that particular part at the top there, like that. Good, like that. Then after doing that, I just go to my filter. After placing it or making sure that it's placed, I go to my filter, and then I go to my blur, and then I go to motion blur. Motion blur is different from Gaussian blur, and that is it. You can see it is a little bit as somebody is shaking it, so it's motion, it is in motion. So you click on OK. Good. And then after that, the next thing I want to bring is time. So when is the time for this event? The time for this event is supposed to be so we can also have here time. So I want time to be appearing close to the here, just here, before, after the word the thanks. So time can appear there, and then we just Control plus J, so to duplicate that, and then we put our time there, 7 and 9 a.m. 7 and 9 a.m. and therefore I click there, and then I just make sure that everything has been positioned exactly at the top there, like that. Then after doing that, we move to the next part, and that is now bringing in I'll be able to do some coloring for this Thanksgiving service in a few, but allow me to bring in the image film. So I just want to go to File, and then you place Embed, and then I click here. This is our film. So this is the image that I'll be able to show all the pictures there. So the first thing I want to do is to make sure that it's at the top there, and then I want to rasterize it. Then after rasterizing it, I want to go to my magic wand tool, and then I want to get rid of all this background. And just go there and then click to make sure that all this background has disappeared. Yeah, so like that, then like that also, just making sure that the background is disappearing, like that. Perfect. Good. So this one is still having some background on it, so making sure that all this background is no longer there. This background is no longer there. So click there, and then you just click there, and then make sure that you're getting rid of this background. So this is something that so you can be able to position it at the top here. So I want to see some kind of consistency in my design. Click there. Now the next thing I want to bring in, a drum. I want to bring in the drum. So place Embed, and then I want to bring this drum in here. I think I have a drum here, so let me bring in a drum. I have a drum here, so let me bring in a drum. Here it is. Place in there. So this drum, I want it to appear to be tilted, and then I also get rid of the background. So I want to reduce it, reduce that drum, reduce it there, and then make sure that it is tilted. So you just rotate a little bit. I don't want to be so, I want it to appear as if it is somehow going the way that particular film is going, that film tape is going. So I want to make sure that it is reduced to that particular point, so it shows some kind of linkage between the thanks and the images that I'm going to display. So I need to make sure that it is tilted very well. Then after doing that, I just right click and then I rasterize it, and then after doing that, I click on the magic wand tool to get rid of this background. So I just want to make sure that I don't have any background there. So magic wand tool, and just make sure that everything is there. Yeah, so you can see there is a problem here with this particular image. It seems like it is going to have a problem. So let me just make sure that it is big enough so that you can be able to view it together. So you can see by this particular point, it is highlighting everything. Yeah, you can see it is highlighting everything. So what you need to do, we can get rid of some part. Let me get rid of this first part, this part first, and then so I also want to get rid of this. I also want to get rid of this, and then I also want to get rid of this. One challenge of this is that it is not it is showing some kind of there is a problem, because it is going to highlight the entire thing here. So what you need to do is that we can be able to apply some kind of so I want to use the magic lasso tool, this one, magic lasso tool, this one. So to be able to select only this part here, just only this part here, I just want to select this part on this side, because I don't want to get rid of the top part of the drum, and therefore there is need for us to apply some kind of other mechanism to get rid of this apart from the magic wand tool. So by so doing, I can get rid of that particular part, and then I just go on this particular end also and make sure that also this part has been selected like that, just getting rid of this particular part. Yeah, so that is where you can be able now to prove yourself that you are a graphic designer, because now it happens that such kind of an event is happening, and therefore there's need for you to apply some kind of consistency in your design. So I'm going to continue doing that. Yeah, so that is it. I think it is clean. I think I've gotten rid of every part that I think it is not having a problem, so I can be able to make sure that it is well organized there, like that. I think that at the top there is some kind of a problem, whereby there is some kind of stain that has been left there. So what I need to go, I can be able to pick my brush tool, and I want to get rid of that particular part. So I want to reduce my brush, and then I just want to remove this stain at the top here. Yes, I think that stain is making something not very clear at the top there. Yes, like that, just reducing the stain. Then after doing that, the next thing I want to do now is just to bring in the rest of the text. But before I do that, I just want to finish up with the, so you can be able to see that this particular image or this particular drum is at the top of the carousel. Make sure that it is not part of the, it is part of the image film, but it is not at the top of it. So something like that, it can be able to look a little bit like it is picking it from the other side. It's picking it from the other side, so that it creates such kind of a visual appearance that it is starting from this side and then it is ending on the other side, like that. Then after doing that, I want to bring in now the images. But before I bring in the images, allow me to add some gradient on this. So just click on the image, on the text Thanksgiving, and then go to gradient overlay, and then on the gradient overlay I want to change the gradient to be, so here I want to make sure that I use a different color. So that color that I want to use here is this. Click on that. So and then I want also to go the other side, and then I want to click, I want to select this part that is brownish on this particular drum, and I want to use it on the other side. So I just want to make sure that I increase some kind of appearance so that there's some kind of consistency. Yeah, like that. That's okay. So if you're interested to use the same colors, the colors are here. You can be able to see it on your screen. So this is the color, the second color, and then this is the first color. This is the first color, and then the second color is there. So that is it about how you can be able to include the gradient on this one. And then after that I want to apply the same gradient on my service. So I click on FX, and then I go to gradient overlay, and then I just want to change it by reversing it so that it starts with the other color and then it finishes on the other end. So by so doing I've already finished with that. So I want to show you how to bring in the first image. So I just click on the file and then place embed. So before you bring in the first image, the first thing that you need to do is you need to have a rectangle here. So this rectangle, you just click on the rectangle tool here like this, and then I can just be able to draw. So you can see this image or this particular rectangle. You need to be able to use it so that you can be able to fit within that particular canvas or that particular area. So how do you go about it? You click on the direct selection tool. So this direct selection tool will allow you to pick one anchor point at a time and be able to position it exactly how you want it to appear. So I click on it, and then I just want to start with this particular end. So I hold the left button on my mouse, and then I drag it on this particular end. So I want to change it to a path, yes. You click yes, and then after that you just continue working on that, making sure that everything is in order, like that, so that everything can be happening, be fitted in this particular film, like that. Yeah. So you can see there is a problem at the top here. We are leaving some kind of white area. So what you need to do, you click on the pen tool, and then that pen tool you click here on this line to add an anchor point, and then you go to our direct selection tool, and then you can be able to resize it so that you can be able to fit at that particular point there. So you need to make sure that every box in this film has been filled correctly. Every box has been filled correctly. You can see down here we have also a problem. Yeah, we have a problem down here. So we need to click on the pen tool, add an anchor point here, and then you can be able now to use the direct tool, and then you can be able to make sure that it is reduced and it fits well exactly in that particular location. Good. So we can be able to work also this end to make sure that it is not occupying every other side. So you can do this up to the end. Yeah. So by so doing, we want to bring in now the image. So you can see there is some kind of, yes, that is okay. And then you can also be able to reduce this part so that it fits in that particular location very well. Good. I think everything is in order. So I want to bring in the image. So I go to place embed, and then I want to bring in this image. Image is here. And to bring in this image, this one. Yes, start with this image here. So I want to load this image, but I'm not interested with the entire image. I'm just interested with the part of singing, that particular part at the top there. So I just make sure that it is positioned at the top of this rectangle tool. It is positioned at the top of this rectangle tool, and then I just right click, and then I create a clipping mask. So you can see that image is appearing at this particular end here. So you do the same for the remaining boxes. You just bring in the rectangle, you bring in the rectangle, the second rectangle, like that, and then you just use the rectangle, the direct one tool, the direct selection tool. You click on any anchor point and you start making sure that it is well positioned. It is well positioned. And in case where we have a curve, you add an anchor point, and then using a pen tool, and then you do it. You can be able to make sure that it is uniform with the way it has been drawn there. So you add an anchor point, and then you use our direct one tool to be able to position it exactly how we want it to appear at the top there. Good. So we click again on that direct the pen tool to add an anchor point here, and then you click on our direct selection tool and make sure that everything has been aligned according to the way the image is moving. So by so doing, we are working on it. Yes, so that one is it. That is it. We bring in the second image. Okay, here I think there is some kind of white spaces somewhere. You want to get rid of it, so I can hold this, put it there, hold this, put it there, and then good. Then after that, I just bring in the second image, plus, then I bring in the second image like that. So what I'm interested with again is this singer here. So I just want to bring in that image there, and then I right click on it, and then I create clipping mask. So what I'm interested with is that particular part of singing. Yes, that one. That. Then the next image, bring in again. So before you bring in the image, you bring in the rectangle tool first. So then you draw it. So I can be able to pause my video. You can be able to do the same up to the end, and then you resume. So I've been able to work on the remaining images, just working with the rectangle tool and working with the images and clipping it in each and every rectangle there. So the next thing I want to do is just to be able to make sure that this one is grouped. So I'm going to highlight all these images plus the rectangles plus the film and make sure that they are all in one image. So just like that. Making sure that everything is in order. Click like that, and then you group it, Ctrl+G. So that is it. I've been able to group this particular entire part, so that if I want to move, I just move it as a group. Yeah, you can see it's very simple, making sure that everything is in order like that. Now the last thing I want to do is just to make sure that I write the venue where the event will take place. So venue where the event will take place. So venue, and then you make sure that venue is like that, and make sure that it is orange in color, and then you make sure that it is center aligned. Ctrl+A. Reduce it a little bit, 45, and then I make sure that this is center aligned like that. Ctrl+D to deselect, so I just move it at the top here, and then I just Ctrl+J so that I can be able to write some where the location of the church is. So Kisumu Highway, 200 meters along, 200 meters along Map Clinic Road. So I can highlight this, center align it, and then change the font color, change the font color to black. Change the font color to black. Then you work with the last part. So the last part I want to bring, I just want to draw a line. I just want to draw a line to separate the top part and the bottom part. I want to draw a line here. Just draw a line. So make sure that it is 0 pixels. It is 0 in terms of rotation up to that particular point. I don't want it to be so long, but just to separate the top part and the bottom part. And then make sure that you have changed the fill color to be orange, and then also you have changed the stroke color to be orange, and make sure you're using 4 pixels, and make sure that also the caps are rounded. Caps is rounded, and then the corner is also rounded like that. Good. Perfect. Then after that we want to bring in another image. Go here. I want to bring in the image of Facebook. Just want to bring in the image of Facebook. So I reduce it up to that particular point, make sure that it's there, and then push it a little bit at the top, and then you can just write some text there. Christ Liberation Embassy. Then we just highlight this, and then we just change it to be regular. Okay, then you can go to reduce the size of the text. So hold an anchor point there, and then make sure that you reduce it up to that particular point. Don't want it to be so big to interfere with the other text. So by so doing, you just want to Ctrl+J, and then I want to write what our second social media platform, it is Apostle Luke Rema. So by so doing, I just want to bring in the image of YouTube. So I click here, go to place embed, and then you just click on the YouTube icon. Click on the YouTube icon, reduce it up to that particular point, and then you just make sure it is fitted in between here. Good. Powerful. Then after doing that, we just want to bring in the last thing, or the last image. Want to bring in the last image, and that is you can also be able to Ctrl+J, so that you can be able to separate with this part at the bottom here, like that. So something that to show that this is a quite different part or a different section. Then after doing that, we just want to write something down there, just to invite people to church, and then just say join us in this worship experience. Like that. Make sure it is supposed to be, make sure it is medium. You can also be able to reduce the size. Reduce this size, it is too big. Reduce it like that. Then after that, you go to A, that is the character, and then you just want to increase the spacing between these texts. So I just want to increase the spacing so that it covers the entire part down here, just like that, making sure that it's center aligned. Good. Then the last thing that we want to do in this particular design is just to make sure that I also change this color for the, just make sure that you change this color for the dead. You can pick something from this particular design. Yes, I think we can work with that so that it stands out. Just shows that this is a different thing. Okay, then the next thing also that we can be able to use so that you can be able to beautify your work, you click on this line tool, and then you can be able to place a line, because it looks as if there is a lot of blank space in between in this our title, or the title of the service. So we can be able to use our rectangle. I can be able to use this line tool so that it gives us that, it fills that particular place down up there. Okay, so I think we've gone so back so far. I just want to click on address, and then I can be able also to bring in the line tool. I can be able to bring in a line so that it can be able to help us to separate. Then this one we need to change it to be orange, and also make sure that this one is orange, make sure that this one is 4, and make sure that here is a rectangle, is a rounded, cups are rounded, and also make sure that the corners are rounded. Corners are also rounded like that. Then after that, you just make sure that you rasterize it so that we doesn't have it appearing at the top of present. So what you want to do, you rasterize it, and then you go to pick our polygon lasso tool, and then we just want to get rid of this part that is overlapping with the text. So pick this part that is overlapping with the text, like that. Then you just press the backspace on your keyboard to get rid of it. So I think that is it. I think everything is now ready for export. Everything is ready for export. So one last thing that you can go to do is just to increase some kind of vibrancy. So what you need to do is click here, and then you can be able to go to these layer options, and then you click on curves. First of all, you click on vibrancy for the entire canvas. Just make sure that everything stands out. You can see the way I increase the vibrancy, you can see everything now starts popping up. Everything starts popping up. Everything starts looking very elegant. You can use 60. You can use 60 in this case. Also, you can go to apply saturation. So with saturation means that you're going to increase the way the images look. So you can see saturation can go up to that particular point. And then after doing that, you move to here again, to the solid color here where it is solid color, and then you can go to our curves. So curves are meant to reduce some kind of the sharpness of the image, like that. I think that is exactly very nice. So the last thing I want to show you is that this particular part at the top here seems a little bit very deserted at the top here. You can see this is a very big space between the title and that. So what you need to do, I just want to show you what you can go to do about it. So we have got this part, yeah. So we want to make sure that this particular part and the rest of the title is not removed, or is not so far from the logo of the church. So I want just to increase it a little bit like that, and after increasing it, I just want to push it a little bit at the top. I think something is not right. Present is not selected. Yes, present is not selected, so I just want to push it at the top here. So somehow it should be having some kind of consistency. Yes, like that. So that is the consistency I'm talking about. Yes, you can see how it fits very well. Make sure that everything is in line, but also making sure that you don't leave so much white space at the top there. Yes, like that. Yes, that's exactly what I want that image to look like. Yeah, then after doing that, I can also be able to push this time up here like that, so time can fit very well at this particular point. Perfect. So we have been able to work on this, and you can be able to see that there are some key areas that are supposed to be pay attention, especially in the image carousel. This is somewhere you can be able to take so much time to work on it, and therefore up to that particular point, I think my fly is ready for export. So how do you export it? You just click on file, and then you go to export, and then you click on export as. Export as, and then you give it time, it loads, and then when it is loading, you change the file format to be JPEG. JPEG is the best way to be able to export an image, especially going to be using a digital platform, and then you click on export all. So you just do that. Then after doing that, you'll be able to select the folder where the image is going to be located. So this is where the image I want to place it here. Change the name of that image. You can change the name and just say 3rd November, like that, and then you click save. Good. So thank you so much for watching this video. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel so that when I drop the next video, you'll be informed. Thank you so much, and bye bye for now.